आप सबको कैसा लग रहा है अभी? अच्छा लग रहा है? आपको कैसा लग रहा है पूजा?
जी बहुत अच्छा लग रहा है। मैं ये सोच रही हूँ कुछ नया होने वाला है, क्या होने वाला है, वेट कर रही हूँ।
श्रुति कैसा लग रहा है?
वेरी नाइस।
वेरी नाइस। सब लोग मूवीज देखते हैं?
यस।
कौन सी मूवी देखी थी लास्ट?
हाईवे।
हाईवे कैसी लगी?
अच्छी थी बहुत।
अच्छी थी, क्यों?
उसमें मैम रियल स्टोरीज दिखा रहे थे कि कैसे एक सिचुएशन एक लड़की को किडनैप कर लेते हैं, फिर उसके बाद वो अपने आप को उसी सिचुएशन के साथ कर लेती है, एडजस्ट कर लेती है।
अच्छा, हाईवे बहुत अच्छी लगी। तो अभी हम जो ये इंटरेक्शन कर रहे थे, हम क्या कर रहे थे अभी? मैंने आपसे कुछ क्वेश्चंस पूछे और आपने मुझे उसके आंसर्स दिए, राइट? सो व्हाट वर वी डूइंग? We were discussing, yes. We were communicating, yes. So can we say that we were expressing ourselves?
Yes.
Communication, discussion, information sharing, all these are ways of expressing ourselves. Can you guess what we are going to be doing today? What is our topic of discussion?
How to express ourselves?
How to express ourselves. Could be. Sneha?
Communication.
Communication. Okay. Ravinder? How to?
Expression feels because of feel wording.
Acha, how do you feel? How do you express? Okay. So everyone is thinking that this could be a session on communication or expression. So expressions generally क्या होते हैं? इन सब चीज़ों का एक कलेक्शन होते हैं। जब मैं एक्सप्रेस करती हूँ, मैं शायद इनमें से एक या उनमें से ज़्यादा चीज़ों का यूज़ करते हुए अपने आप को एक्सप्रेस करती हूँ। Right? It's a collection of one of these or more. So just like we express ourselves through words, through music, through gestures, through actions, through dance, through thoughts, algebraic expressions जो होते हैं, मैथ्स में एक टॉपिक है algebraic expressions का, those are also nothing but an expression of numbers, operators and symbols. So do you know what algebra actually means? Algebra is an Arabic word that translates to completion or restoration. Algebra has traveled many places to come into the form that it's actually in. As you can see in the map, algebra traveled through Babylon, the cities of Alexandria, came to India and then formed into what it is right now. Do you know where these places are actually on the map? Can you locate them? Do you know how many schools are there in Delhi?
Round of 95.
Okay. So you're assuming there are around 95. You don't know for sure that there are 95 schools or how many schools there are.
Yes, ma'am.
So in cases where you don't know what the actual number or actual value of something is, we generally denote it with a symbol. So symbol can be of any kind. Say for instance, I feel like calling the number of schools a pumpkin. So for me, the number of schools will always be denoted with a pumpkin. For someone else, it could be an apple. For you, it could probably be a computer. And for some really cool mathematicians, it could be X or Y or A or Z. Why do you think they never used a symbol like a pumpkin or a computer or an orange? Not because they didn't like that symbol, but because they thought that probably an alphabet was an easier way of representing the symbol. So that is how symbols actually came into picture. They just eased the whole trouble of making an orange or making a computer or making a tomato out of a symbol. So great. Now that we've denoted the number of schools with a symbol, let me give you some additional information to find out how exactly we can know what the number of schools are. So if I now tell you that the number of schools in Delhi is 43 more than 100 times my father's age, then now what are you going to do? Do you know what my father's age is?
No, ma'am.
You don't know what my father's age is. So let's go back and do what we're best at. Let's denote it with a symbol. Dinesh, what is your symbol?
Stick.
Okay. Lokesh, what is your symbol?
Apple.
It's an apple. Great. So again, we have a lot of interesting symbols. Let's now put this entire information in the form of a mathematically readable language. So I said that the number of schools in Delhi is 43 more than 100 times my father's age. Okay? So let's go back to what an expression is. An expression is a collection of numbers, symbols and operators. The first expression for me would be the number of schools in Delhi, which is nothing but an apple for me, could be a pair of spectacles for you, could be X for someone else. So X or apple or that symbol for me is on one side. I also told you that the number of schools is equal to 43 more than 100 times my father's age. So let me write that also in a mathematically decipherable language. 43 plus 100 into the symbol that I had given for my father's age, which for me is a pair of spectacles, for you could be X, for someone else could be Y. So can we write this information down on a piece of paper? So as we can see, a pumpkin is equal to 43 plus 100 into the computer, where the pumpkin for me denotes the number of schools and the computer for me denotes the age of my father. 100 and 43 are numbers and into and plus are operators. So clearly both sides of the equality have an expression. So do you know what this entire thing is called? What this entire thing is called? So whenever there is a relation between two expressions, and specifically if the relation is that of equality, then this entire thing is known as an algebraic equation. So an algebraic equation is nothing but a relation between two expressions, and specifically a relation. So what you should see in front of you are three sentences. I am smarter than him, she has lesser money than I have, and children in private schools get better education than children in government schools. All these statements represent unequalness or inequality. But when we are talking about an equation, remember always that an equation represents a condition of equality. An algebraic equation in particular represents equality between two algebraic expressions, which means that everything is done fairly and equally. If I am taking something away from one side, I have to take something away from the other side also. If I am adding something on one side, I have to add something on the other side as well. Nothing can be done unequally in an algebraic equation. So if we reflect through the class that we've just seen, do you think the 4D indicators have been incorporated? So let's try seeing how, whether they have or not. Let's talk about student engagement. How do you think we engage students today? If you notice, we did introduce the topic of algebraic expressions the way it is usually done in school. On the contrary, when we started the lecture, no one even knew that we were going to touch a topic like maths. We were talking about really general things like how do you express yourself? Did you like the movie that you saw the last time? How do you feel today? So all these are ways of expressing yourself. So that is how we introduced a topic as abstract as algebraic equations and as abstract as maths to students by relating things that they see and talk in general. In fact, maths is actually another language. Just like English, Hindi, Tamil, Telugu, all of them have a grammar of their own, all of them have a syntax of their own, all of them are used to ultimately communicate certain things that you want to. Again, maths has a grammar of its own too. It has numbers, it has operators, it has symbols, it has values. But what are we using all of these for? We are actually using these things to communicate certain things. So maths again is a language of its own. So now let's see how did we use project-based learning in this entire presentation. If you notice, we asked the children to play a game here. What were we doing with that game? we were actually engaging the students to build a project to see how maths or how equations can actually be seen on a computer. Equations again are very, very abstract. Our teacher usually tells us that x is equal to 5, and we tend to assume that yes, this is true. However, with the game that we've just played, we've actually seen how x equal to 5 works. Throughout the game, this is precisely what we were doing. It's a great project with great smart goals that can be achieved. It's specific, it is measurable, it is realistic, it is attainable, and we've given a specific time for students to do it. By means of this project, we also integrated technology into this entire classroom. We saw how students are now able to visualize and see equations happening in front of them. This is a great way of using technology in a classroom and actually not using it but integrating it. We actually didn't restrict ourselves to just maths. We introduced concepts of geography and history into the entire presentation because the NCF, National Curriculum Framework, very explicitly states how no subject can be carried out in a standalone manner. It is very important to integrate other subjects and other disciplines into the subject that we're teaching. If you just see a child who steps out of school will never be faced by just mathematical problems or just problems related to science or just problems related to English. A child will be faced by problems that would make him or her apply all the concepts that he or she has learned in school. So it is very important to not teach any subject in a standalone manner, to interlink other disciplines and to adopt an interdisciplinary approach in every subject that we teach is of utmost importance.